So I've been training for around 6 years now and I've made some progress since when I started. But there were some mistakes which cost me dramatically, and I want to share those mistakes with you today so then hopefully you don't make them as well and go into those pitfalls, and that way you can speed up your journey and get to your dream physique so much faster. Now the first mistake I made was following a traditional bro split. So a bro split is when you go to the gym and you just train one body part per day. So for example, Monday chest day, Tuesday back day. Now it feels good on the day because you get a really good pump, but the research actually shows that training your muscle groups at least twice per week is the best way for growth. So the problem is when we do 1 day per week, we don't get that opportunity. What I do now, and what I should have done a long time ago, is switch to a routine which allows that. For example, a 3-day full body split, so you can hit each muscle group 3 times per week, or a 4-day upper lower split, so you can hit each body part at least twice a week. And another benefit of these 3-day and 4-day routines is that you get more time to rest, recover, and do other things with your life as well. The next point is drinking alcohol. Now when I got to uni, I don't know if you know what UK uni is like, it is just active. All you do is go out consistently all the time. And for the first few years when I was trying to manage my drinking with training, I made literally zero progress, and probably think that my physique tanked in the first 2.5 years. And it was really once I stopped drinking at uni that my physique started to progress. And I realised what was the problem, what was going on. And then I looked into it and I found there were a lot of damaging things that alcohol was doing to my body. Research shows that alcohol has an extremely negative effect on muscle growth by disrupting your process called protein synthesis. It also lowers your testosterone and increases your weight gain. It increases your weight gain because alcohol itself is very high in calories. And then the second thing it does is it stops the process of your body burning fat and instead focuses on breaking down the alcohol first. If you've been drunk and hungover before, you get the craving for salty and greasy foods, which you're consuming at least multiple times a week after you drink. And then it also has a harmful effect on sleep, so you can't recover properly. Now the thing is, I'm a Muslim now, and since I've reverted, obviously I don't drink any alcohol, but I stopped drinking way before I even thought about Islam. So to me, it wasn't even a religious reason, it was just a common sense reason. So I'll leave it up to you, do whatever you want with it. The next point is understanding periodization. So periodization, it means creating phases of training where you focus on certain things, and the most simple one is focusing on one muscle group or putting a bit more emphasis on it over that phase instead of the others. Now the thing is, most people go to the training session and they allocate their sets, which in our case is time, because the amount of sets that you do on a muscle group is the amount of time you spend on a muscle group. So you put like minimal amount of sets just everywhere, spread really thin. But then the problem is, over the next few months you're not making progress in anything, or it's very minimal. Instead, what you should do is allocate some extra sets to a one lagging body part or an area you want to focus on, and then let that be your focus for the next few months. And then that way you've actually made progress in one area and cemented some growth, and you've kept a minimum maintenance volume for the other muscle groups. And then once you've done that, you can change the next period to another focus area. The next bro is dirty bulking. Now it took me a few years to realise how much of a joke this was. This basically means you eat as much shit as possible, so like your crisps, snacks, burgers, pizzas, milkshakes, whatever you can grab for calories, because you're just trying to put on mass. That is probably the worst thing you can do to your body, especially for an extended period of time. In my case now, looking back at it, it was just for people who didn't have the discipline, consistency or knowledge to put on lean muscle. And the next bro is you have to focus on hypertrophy, not strength. If we're the goal of building muscle and building a lean physique, you got to understand that strength training and programming and hypertrophy training and programming are very different, especially when it comes to rep ranges. So I used to do 1 rep maxes thinking, oh yes, this is going to build me muscle, benching 2 plates for, but then I realized this was doing no progress in terms of my muscle growth, and that was my goal. So instead of putting all that energy in trying to do a 1 rep max, I should have found my 70% or 60% of my 1 rep max and done that for extended sets, and therefore increasing the time under tension that my muscle is going through. And that is what leads to more hypertrophy and more muscle growth. So the best rep ranges for this hypertrophy would be between 8 to 12 in my opinion, with 5 to 6 reps being the absolute minimum, just if you really want to focus on breaking through a plateau or something like that. Because anything below the 5 to 6 and you're going off of the hypertrophy and really focusing on strength and trying to move the heaviest weight and incorporating a lot of your central nervous system to move, that's not what we want to do. We want to keep the tension on the target muscle and load it for an extended period of time, and that's what leads to that muscle growth. So an idiot makes his own mistakes and a smart person listens to other people's mistakes. Listen to what I've told you. If it makes sense to you, avoid the stuff that I've said and actually do what gets you the results. But as always, you know my message, bro. Keep building, keep progressing, and I'll catch you in the next one.